Hello guys, Bud here with Dependable Lawn Care. Somebody watched my video on the Mean Green Cleaner Degreaser and recommended that I tried the Purple Power and see how I like that. So I'm cleaning up everything in my trailer to get ready for next season, and I have my gas cans. You can see they have like black spotting all over. I know they're just gas cans, that's not a big deal, but what that is, when I was using these on the open trailer and they set outside, I think it's tree sap mainly that did that, and just kind of makes them look a little gunky and trashy. So I'm going to try some of that on those to see how it does with that. And then on my Echo hedge trimmer, it has a lot of oil and grease build up on the front of it, and that's from the way I had it hanging in the trailer. The mixed fuel was leaking out and seeping all over everything, and it's just nasty. And I did wipe some of it off, but I want to see how the Purple Power does as far as just spraying it on and rinsing it off. And then here's my bar and chain oil. That's a mixture of bar oil and dust. So I'm going to apply it according to the directions and let it sit and then rinse it off and see how it does, just doing that without any brushing or anything. And then we'll see if we need to apply again and go back and do some scrubbing. Everything is sprayed down and soaking. Now some of it I could see running off right away. You know, probably some of the more dust-based stuff. That's from a label that was on it, so we'll see how it does with that adhesive type stuff. I have it's just a soft scrub brush, and I think I'm going to use that on one of these gas cans just to see what it does with that. You can see all the gunk and stuff on this. So I'll have one gas can that I try without scrubbing and one that I will. And basically wear gloves, eye protection, do this in a well ventilated area, avoid contact with paint, you know, just follow all the directions on the bottle, and you're supposed to spray it on, let it sit, and then rinse it off with water before it dries. Do not allow it to dry. So that's what I'm going to do, and like I said, I'll try scrubbing on one just to see what it does. Alright guys, it only took about maybe 2 or 3 minutes before this stuff started to look like it was going to dry, so I went ahead and rinsed everything off. It did really good on the grease, like the grease and oil based. I didn't touch that with a brush. Here's the brush that I used on the gas can, and it's just a real soft bristle brush, plastic bristle brush. On the grease-based stuff, I mean, it really knocked it off. It just, you know, that stuff just melted away right away. This thing was just gunked up all over the place with mixed oil and grease and stuff. Now on the gas can, not so much. On the tree sap, which is, I'm guessing that's what it is the tree sap that kind of stained the plastic. So this is the one that I just sprayed and rinsed. Now it did take some of it off, but look at this one. This one I just lightly brushed real quick. I mean, I just ran over the whole thing just to kind of agitate it before I rinsed it off. And this one, it really cleaned up. I mean, it got rid of probably 90% of what was on there. And then this gas can wasn't too bad. It wasn't stained like the others. It was just dirty. And it's not perfect, but it did clean it up quite a bit, just spraying it on and rinsing it off. So the label that I was looking at, it didn't really do much to that. So I'm going to spray it again and try the brush just to kind of agitate it and see how it does on that. And there's places where these containers have rubbed up against something that's like a black plastic or something, and and I don't think that's going to come off. I think that's kind of ground into the plastic itself. But you can see a big difference between that fuel tank, just spraying it on and rinsing it off, versus this fuel tank, spraying it on, agitating it a little bit with the brush, and then rinsing it off. And again, the hedge trimmer, it really cleaned that up. I mean, anything that was grease or oil based, it took off right away. I mean, look at the carburetor. You know how gunky those get? And I mean, it just cleaned that right up. The throttle body and everything, it's nice and clean. And the bar oil that was spilled on the bar oil jug, cleaned that right off too. So anyway, I'm going to hit those spots that I talked about a second time, and we'll see what it does with a little bit of agitation. Everything is cleaned up and dried off now, and you can see where the label was at on the bar oil. It actually dissolved the adhesive and the label fell off. So it didn't do that to any of the stickers or anything, you know, on the hedge trimmer, but just those paper price stickers. So the gas cans, the other gas can rather, cleaned up really nice. And again, you know, all I did was spray it on there again and then go over everything with a brush just to kind of loosen it up. You know, I didn't really scrub real hard or anything like that. This gas can, same thing, the big label that was on the front, it just dissolved the adhesive and it fell right off. So I guess that's something to be mindful of. If you have a label on something that you don't want it to come off, you know, you might watch that. There's a lot of marks and stuff like that on these cans and on the bar oil. And I think that's from my open trailer when they used to set up against painted surfaces. This Purple Power, it really is good stuff. I mean, it cleaned this stuff up, made it look really nice. I'll try to, one of these days when I get a chance, and I've got a mower that's just really nasty and has a lot of gunk built up on it, I'll try to use the Purple Power on half of it and the Mean Green on the other half and see which one works better. The only downside to the Purple Power is it says not to use on painted surfaces, or if you're going to test it in an inconspicuous area. So I'll read up on that some more before I go spraying it on a mower and mess up the paint. But anyway, on these plastic products, worked really good. So I mean, it would definitely work good for cleaning up, you know, my trimmers and chainsaws and things like that get pretty gunky sometimes. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and get out there and